Hello everyone, you've reached the emergency services. What's your emergency? Please state your name, age, location, and a brief description of the incident. It all started when I moved into my current residence about 3 years ago. At first, everything was fine, nothing out of the ordinary, but after a couple of months, things started to get weird. It began with strange noises in the middle of the night, footsteps in the attic, whispers coming from the walls, and sometimes I could have sworn I heard voices trying to pry their way in through the front door. Every time I investigated, there was nothing there. Sometimes I would find the front door slightly ajar in the morning as well. That's when I started recording. My home is old, and I've had similar experiences before, so I assumed it was just some old house settling, but the constant scratching noises in the dead of night became unbearable. And because these incidents were happening at night while I was sleeping, I couldn't collect any evidence. I tried speaking to my neighbors, but they told me that they'd had similar problems before and ended up leaving. I couldn't believe them, but it seemed that I was on my own here. Then I met Mr. Harps. I was hoping that by getting to know my neighbors, I might learn something about my home. What I learned instead shocked me. According to Mr. Harps, the home I was renting used to be owned by a secretive woman who he believed was a witch. She never spoke to anyone, but she was seen performing strange rituals in the backyard and chanting at the full moon. Mr. Harps and the other neighbors kept an eye on her until one day she vanished without a trace. Shortly after, the house was put up for rent, and everything seemed normal again until the tenants moved out after a month. One tenant was a man who kept to himself and would always shut his curtains during the day. Another neighbor told me that he often saw strange lights flashing in the windows at night and heard odd chanting. Apparently, he too disappeared without a trace. Some said he moved away, but he left behind a wife and kids. Others claimed that he'd fallen victim to satanic cults operating in the area. I laughed off their concerns, dismissing them as superstitious nonsense. But then I discovered the pentagram carved into the floorboards of my bedroom closet. The carvings were also upside down, which indicated, according to Mr. Harps, that the homeowner performed dark magic. He warned me to leave, claiming that the home was cursed, but I refused. I was determined to stay. I'd pay the mortgage, exorcise the house, and uncover the truth behind the previous owners and the strange occurrences. As I continued researching, I uncovered disturbing details about the home's history. It had once been a church where an insane preacher held mass. He was eventually locked up in a mental institution, but not before performing rituals and burying strange artifacts on the property. One night, while investigating the attic, I discovered a hidden compartment containing an old leather-bound book. Inside, I found disturbing illustrations and diagrams describing dark rituals and sigils. Using these symbols, I managed to contact a demon named Abigor, who informed me that he had been trapped in the basement by the previous owner. I accidentally unleashed him when I drilled a hole into the wall to hang a picture. Apologies if that sounded like another story. This is a true story. After realizing that I was indeed in a nightmare scenario, I contacted an exorcist for help, but when he arrived, he too vanished. Now, it's been 10 months since I moved into the house. The scratches in the attic continue every night, as do the disembodied voices. The pentagrams keep appearing on the walls, and now the exorcist is missing. I'm running out of options and don't know what to do. Please help me. Now, how does this story relate to the topic of urban legends? Urban legends are often used as a warning or to explain a phenomenon with a frightening backstory. For example, alloxophobia, the fear of vampires, led to the urban legend that vampires will rise from the grave and drink the blood of family members. As a result, families would take drastic measures such as chopping off the heads and limbs of deceased relatives. Bloody Mary is another popular urban legend that has led to people being seriously injured or killed trying to summon the ghost in a haunted house. In my story, The urban legend was that the home was haunted and cursed, and this led me to believe that I was in danger. This is an example of a false narrative that can lead to dangerous actions. Thanks for listening. Have a nice day. Goodbye.